If you have something that you don't like about yourself, think of ways that you appreciate it anyway.
So who cares? Why not do your own thing and let them say what they want?
Hey guys, what's up? And welcome to a random video on the floor. I am having a bad body image day, or rather a couple days. And so I wanted to share with you some of the things that even after a ton of weight loss, even after getting super fit and being in the best shape, at least physically and even mentally, of my life, there are still some things I don't always like about my body. There are still some things that like continuously crop up, things that I hyperfixate on, things that feel almost body dysmorphic. And I wanted to share it with you guys because I thought it would be interesting to people. I also want to preface this by saying, please, I am not looking for compliments. In 2 days' time, I'm gonna feel like the hottest girl in the world once again. It's just like kind of like a cycle I go through. When I was really young, I had really bad body dysmorphia. I remember one of my biggest freakouts about it was I was a size 0. I was literally wearing size 0 Hollister jeans, and I was out with some friends, some model friends, and I was with Jay, and I remember I started crying to Jay because I was so fat compared to these girls. And then years later, or maybe even less than a year, I look back on the pictures that we took that night, and I was a lot skinnier objectively than those girls. Sometimes now, even though I've lost 30 pounds of weight, I'll look in the mirror and I'll see the exact same person that I saw when I was 170 pounds. It's crazy. Sometimes I feel like I've made zero progress, and sometimes I feel like I've made too much progress. It's interesting now that I've worked through it to the point where it doesn't really affect me that much. It kind of just affects my mood for a day or two, and then I snap out of it and realize like, oh, once again, that was one of those days where it's just like my serotonin or dopamine is off, or my mood is off, and therefore I start fixating on something on my body. And I honestly don't feel like those things that I fixate on are like amazing when I feel better about myself. It's just that I don't hyperfixate on them to the point where it's like very obvious, or that it even affects my overall look. And I'm convinced that most people don't even see these things, or they don't see them as bad things. Before we keep going, post in the comments if you do not relate to this at all, or if you do. I feel like there's gonna be two camps here. There's gonna be people who relate to this a lot, and I think it's gonna be mostly women who relate to this a lot, but I think men also do have bad body image days. I asked Hunter if he has bad body image days, and he says, yeah, sometimes I feel bloated or fat, but it feels more like it's more objective. It's like if he actually is feeling bloated or fat because he ate too much, then he's having a bad body image day. With me, it is purely psychological. Sometimes I would feel like my makeup is just not going on correctly, or like I'm having a bad hair or skin day, but then the very next day, I feel like $1 million. So it's really not objective on my part. And it seems to have to do with my mood. So I guess there's 3 camps. Tell me which camp you're in. The camp that has never felt this way and it just is fine with the way that they look all the time, or is always like meh about the way that they look and don't think about it. Or the camp that objectively knows when they are, you know, put on a little bit of weight, blah, 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 and they're just not feeling it. They maybe have like one pimple or something, or a few pimples, and it's objective, and they just feel less good about themselves because of those things. Or have you ever been in that camp where you literally realize that sometimes it's all in your fucking head? Without further ado, let's go over the list of things that reoccurringly bother me about my body. And once again, I want to say I'm not looking for compliments on these things. I honestly think everyone has things that they do or don't like about themselves, and I work through it healthily. Like if it's something that keeps happening and is safely changed, and I can improve it by, you know, getting laser, a little bit of filler, I do it. And that's why I've been so careful with all of the surgeries that I get, because I only get them with a clear mind, with other people's objective input. Of course, if people are like, oh yeah, I'd rather you have giant tits or no tits, I'm not gonna take that opinion. I have my own opinions, but I wanna be like, is this a bad body image thing, or is this something I keep feeling needs to be improved or should be improved? Because nothing needs to be improved, we know this, even when I'm in a good mood and think I look like $1 million. My fears going into this video, not really fears, but like the things that are gonna make me roll my eyes in the comment section of this video, if my comments stay on. Last time my comments habitually got turned off automatically. I kept turning them back on every hour and they kept turning off, and I literally think, because I Googled, and kids' videos often get turned off a lot. I think what happened was that slowpoke plushie I had in the video was triggering some kind of kids only thing, because I like kind of showed it off and then also showed off real sex toys. So I'm feeling like that's what happened, but I have no idea. Anyway, first thing, I really do not like being pale. I have to be pale right now because I'm getting some laser on my stomach this weekend, and it requires that I haven't spray tanned, or I have no residual spray tan on my stomach. And so I'm very pale right now, and that always triggers me into feeling like not hot. I feel like I'm just ghostly paper white. I feel like all of my freckles and everything just shine through, and I just look like I have older skin. Whoa, I actually have a vein here. See, I can see veins now on me. Like, what the? I don't like being pale. I think being tan shows off muscles more. It just makes everything better. So whenever I'm pale, it's likely that I'm not feeling super hot. And when I have that irrational not feeling hotness, it just kind of compounds it and makes it a little bit worse, to where I'm like, oh, I don't want to go out or do anything when I have pale skin. I just recently forced myself to actually go to Ulta and buy some makeup that matches my skin tone when I'm pale, because I kept telling myself I'll never let myself sit there and be pale, but sometimes I have to, like for certain procedures and whatnot. And I've been getting a lot of skin procedures and stuff for certain issues, and I have to be pale for that. So I'm trying to embrace pale Tara. I think it looks okay on camera. I think just when I look in the mirror, I just don't pull it off the way other girls do with that nice, milky, consistent white skin. I feel like I just have like very inconsistent freckles and everything. I don't know. I just don't like it. The next thing that's actually a new thing with the weight loss is I don't like how strong like my neck muscles are and stuff. I have a really long, skinny neck. All of the fat in my upper body goes away before the fat in my lower body. I still have an ass, I still have a little bit of fat here, and I still have shit on my legs, but when you look at me just from here up, it almost looks like I'm skeletal. So that's something that's kind of annoying. And when I was looking this morning, I was setting up this camera looking at me with my hair up, which I can imagine a nice slender neck looking all sexy and beautiful and youthful. I just feel like mine looks like a bodybuilder or something. And so that's something that also compounds when I'm not feeling as great about myself. I also don't like my shoulder caps and my shoulder muscles, yet I keep lifting upper body. I don't know when I'm gonna stop, or if I'll stop that entirely, because I don't like muscle mommy. I think it just doesn't look great, especially when I'm so small. But I don't know, it's not that bad. It's kind of cool, but also at the same time, like not my vibe, you know? And like, as you can see here, I have like a rib cage, but down here, I'm still very much like a thick girl, which is technically good. And this is something I also want to remind you guys. If you have something that you don't like about yourself, think of ways that you appreciate it anyway. I've never liked my legs, but I do think it's awesome to lose all of the weight up here and keep some down in the ass and thighs, because, you know, that's what guys think is hot. It looks more athletic. It's way worse when you have those little stick legs and a huge belly, obviously, or when you have like really stick legs and then a big upper body, like that's more masculine. So I am very, very grateful for my natural body shape, even though I don't gain or lose fat like uniformly throughout my body. I really do appreciate that it's in a way that's aesthetic and cool. And I've never liked my legs. I feel like I gain any weight on them and I get like weird patches of cellulite, or like my ass isn't as big as it should be compared to my legs. But I'm so glad that I'm not like a skinny leg girl with a huge fake ass, you know, because that's not my aesthetic either. I can build into something great with the body that I have, and I appreciate the things that I can't change. So that's another thing. I feel like I have a very, very healthy outlook on all of this stuff now. Yet, the bad body image days still persist. And it's almost akin to just like having a bad day in general, where you don't really know why you feel shitty. It's just that it extends to my physical self-image as well. It doesn't extend to my mental self-image. So like, I don't start thinking like, I'm a loser, blah, blah, blah. I don't do that. It's like really just physical. The next thing is, since I lost the weight, I have been trying to get, oh my God, I hope I didn't like show anything crazy. I love my abs. I want to start by saying I fucking love my waist and my abs now. When I was younger, when I first lost all of the weight, after I did my senior project on fitness, I have always had a tiny waist from the side, like so tiny, and I've got that back. And I also have some like fucking abs coming in and shit. I fucking love it. But even though I lost the weight slow, I do have some times where my stomach skin like hangs when I like bend all the way over, or it kind of ripples above the belly button, and that's kind of what I'm getting laser for. Once again, choosing an appropriate approach to something that's not that big of a deal. But for some reason that really, really bothers me, because I'm like, I worked so hard, I have these abs, like why do I have to kind of look like I lost weight sometimes in some angles? So I'm like looking in the mirror like, okay, like when I turn like that, it's hard to do with, okay, like when I turn like that, it kind of, striates a little bit, but oh my God, I am so grateful for like having such a little waist again. It's so amazing. I'm like in the 25 inches camp again, and it's just, oh, it's so fucking amazing. It feels great. I look great and everything. It's just that sometimes more than other times it bothers me that my skin is still retightening. And I think I have to wait like a year after I get to my goal weight to even see like if it just naturally tightens, but I'm getting a little laser to help it along. I don't think it's gonna be a big deal, but sometimes stupid shit like that no one would notice bothers me. The next thing about my body that bothers me is my nose. I do not like my nose. My nose used to be way worse. I got a very non-invasive nose job. Not filler, I would not recommend getting filler. See, I weigh risk. And even if you have a skilled surgeon, there's so many vessels in here that you could get an ocular occlusion and fucking go blind. There are chicks here that have gone blind from some of the top plastic surgeons here. Not worth it at all. I got a non-invasive nose job where they kind of just shaved down this part here, but it's super bumpy, and like if you look under here, one nostril is way bigger than the other because it's like one collapsed or something. I contour my nose to make it look more even, but it takes up a lot of time, and sometimes if I don't blend it well, it looks bad in person or in certain lights, and I would really just like to have a cute little nose. On the flip side, can you guys hear that? I think you can. Motorcycles. On the flip side, I think my nose and the shape of it, I wouldn't want to change it even if I did get another nose job. I would want to just make it more perfect, but keep the overall like kind of bulbous shape. I don't want like a super pinched tip with like the nostrils coming out like a lot of girls get when they get like ridiculous nose jobs. I want to keep kind of my look and my face shape and everything. I just want to streamline it a little bit. Like I don't want to change the way that I look because I like the nose. So I'm terrified of getting my nose done, and that's why I haven't done it, and that's why I'm not adding it onto my boob job, because I feel like it can weaken the walls of my nose. It can cause me to have a deviated septum, and honestly, I'm fine with just being like, my nose doesn't always look great, but sometimes it looks great, but I don't look exactly like everyone else, because I do feel like a lot of girls are just trying to look exactly the same. I have the big pouty lips and always have, because I really have like a lip fetish, like you guys know. Like I love a big pillowy lip. That I just hyperfixate on anyone who has a big pillowy lip, and I just love it, and I feel like it's one of the biggest parts of beauty in a face, so obviously I'm gonna get that for myself as well. But sometimes I'm more fixated on the fact that this side is still overfilled because of my anatomy, and like sometimes there's a little divot somewhere and I'm like, oh my God, it needs to be more perfect, and then I have to stop myself and be like, let's not overfill the lips. Let's think about this objectively. Let's give it some time and look at it when you're feeling good. The next thing I don't like still about my body is I still have like more like lower mid back fat than I feel like is proportionate for the rest of my body. So anytime I'm wearing something that has like a back strap or something, sometimes it just still makes me look all fat and pudgy and stupid from the back. I've never really liked myself from the back, but I'm starting to finally like myself a little bit from the back because I've lost enough fat and I'm working on my ass. And it's really, really cool when you've worked so hard and then you take a picture from the back and you're like, this doesn't make me cringe at how bad it is. I don't have a square, saggy ass with a bunch of cellulite. So it's really amazing to work on yourself while still remaining realistic. The next thing that I am in two minds about this, because I have always despised my thighs. I have always felt like they're too fat, too much of a sweep, like too much, it's just like jiggly everywhere. I always had like some cellulite on either side of my like saddlebags area, and I had an indent in my ass. I kind of fixed the indent in my ass, but it's still kind of there. Only on one side too. It's not a hip dip. It's literally like the bottom half of my butt just looks like it had a chunk taken out of it. It's really weird. I don't know what the fuck happened. But now at this weight, with this much muscle, I barely have any cellulite. Like I still do, and in certain lights it's still pretty bad when I move around or whatever, but like I am so happy with how far I've come in that regard, and like it's so exciting to like not feel gross in like really short shorts in like out in the world, and like to want to run around in a bikini, like, oh my God, it feels amazing. It really does. I feel like I deserve to feel that way. And yet some days I still have a bad body image day and I'm like, damn, oh look, a spam caller, dismissed. Some days I'm still like, damn, I haven't lost a pound and I look exactly the same. It's funny because it worked opposite when I was 170. I would look at pictures of me and be like, damn, I look good. I'm not that chubby. I'm just a little thick, but it's hot as fuck. And I would always have like better than I should body image days. Now looking back on those pictures, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I lost the weight. Holy shit. So it's interesting how my mind works. It's like if I'm in a good mood, it makes me feel super good. If I'm in a bad mood, it makes me feel super bad regarding my body image. Let's see if I can show you how my legs look now, because I'm very proud of them, and usually in this light it'll make it look cellulite-y. So I want to show you just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about, and also I'm just like so happy. Like I've come so far with my skin too. I'm still trying to figure out my calves. My calves are always like bumpy and get ingrowns from waxing and stuff, and they're not, it's like very hard to keep them moisturized. They're always like really dry versus the rest of my body is so soft now. I don't have razor bumps or anything on my fun region, and I've just been like really optimizing the way that I look and feeling really healthy and great about myself, and that maximizes the days that I feel great and minimizes the days that I feel bad. And even when I feel bad, I know logically like I've come so far, I'm doing so great, and I'm kicking fucking ass, and I'm in the best shape of my life, so fuck yeah. Okay, so you can see I have a little thing right there, but it used to be super indented here and crazy. And then from the back, you can see I have like a couple dimples here. This is like the more problematic dimply side. There's like 3 or 4 dimples right here, but it really looks pretty good now. And it's mostly just like fit, and I have like a Toblerone triangle thigh gap thing or whatever. So what I've started to do when I'm having like a bad body image day, and that's what I did today, is I do my most me look. I haven't worn these lashes for over a year, but these are the lashes that always make me feel the sexiest. They're always the ones that I would wear when I go out or when I'm trying to look the hottest. So I slapped my last pair of those on. I have my bimbo pink lips. I'm wearing some gaming stuff and I'm like, hell yeah, this is me. And I instantly feel better. I think a lot of people do say that when you're down in the dumps, it's smart to like dress up, to get out of bed and not look gross, and to just shower and do something good for yourself, whether it's working out or eating something good. And this is kind of like my version of that. It makes me feel a lot better to just put myself together the way I like with my aesthetic and just roll with it. All right, guys, let me know in the comments what you think. I love to hear you guys' thoughts. Hopefully you're allowed to post them this time. And yo, thank you so much for just sticking around with me. Even though I'm not a partner anymore and I'm having weird issues with my channel, it's really nice to see that I'm getting more clicks and more views for my videos. I'm trying really hard to cut out the fat and just post stuff that you guys actually like, while also still posting things that I enjoy. I think a large part of you, not as much as the ones who like to watch me try things on or do Friday Night Mail, but I think a lot of you do like to just have me sit down and be candid with you. So I'm gonna keep that going. I'll just do it like 1/3 to 1/4 of the time, and then the rest of the stuff will be like the clickbaity shit. So you guys get a little bit of both, and I get to enjoy it. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys in the next video. By the way, we don't have anything from F&M yet, so if you want to get me something from the wish list to provoke another F&M, do so with the link down in the description to my throne wish list. Love you guys. Bye. Oh my God, I totally forgot one more like super silly one. I hate how narrow my head is. It's so crazy. Like I can't even get, like I have some tape and extensions right now, and my hairdresser is like, there's not a lot of space back here for the width of your head. Like I literally have a narrow head. If I wear a flat billed hat, I can stick like my hands in the sides, and that makes it so that my forehead looks super much longer. And then like I try to like puff out my hair to make my head look a little bit bigger, or like wear my hats looser, but like it creates a weird look. And I can't believe I have a narrow head. It's so stupid, but it actually fucks with the, like my look and stuff sometimes. All right, bye for real now.